Stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome everyone to Monday, July 18th. If you have any questions, comments, or business with this body, come up to the microphone, give us your name and address, and state your concerns, please. Would you call the roll?
Cedar.
Here.
Foley.
Here.
Kinsfater.
Here.
Kleeman. Cuffa.
Here.
LaPorte.
Here.
McCartney.
Here.
May I have a motion to excuse member Kleeman?
So moved. Support.
All right, the motion is made, supported to excuse member Kleeman. Any questions?
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll go to consent agenda. A, City Council minutes of July 5th, 2016, regular meeting, recommendation approved. And B is the resignation from the Historical Commission, except with regrets.
I'll make a motion to approve A and B as presented. Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll go to number 5, ordinances and resolution. Resolution in support of the St. Clair County Drug Task Force millage request.
Your Honor, I would make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
I'll support.
All right, the motion is made, supported. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Kinsfater.
Yes.
Cuffa.
Yes.
LaPorte.
Yes.
McCartney.
Yes.
Foley.
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Let's go to 6. City Superintendent, Mr. Booth.
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
All right, any questions from Mr. Booth tonight? All right, we'll go to B. Mr. Downey.
Your Honor, at the, I think the second meeting of June, there was an inquiry made by resident Ellery about the process by which city council members are elected and whether or not there's a residency requirement for those so elected. And I wanted just to report back to City Council that Charter Section 2.01 concerns the qualifications for City Council members, and subsection B specifically enumerates 2 specific requirements, and those are the only requirements that a council member must abide. And one is he or she must be a resident of the city, and secondly, he or she must be a registered voter in the city. If either of those criteria are not met, then he or she is unqualified to serve as a St. Clair City Council member. But those are the only 2 requirements imposed on city residents for service on City Council. Subsection D of Section 2.01 concerns how City Council members are elected to City Council. And what the charter requires is that each of the 3 wards in the city must elect 2 of the members. And again, those members must be residents of the city, and they must be registered voters. But there's no requirement that a candidate be a resident of the ward which elects them, nor is there a requirement that once elected they must remain in the ward. If it were such a requirement, then it would be contained in subsection B, which it is not. So I hope that is clarifying for City Council members. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
I do have one question. I guess historically, council members have been elected by ward. People who are elected from those wards to council. So historically, that's how votes have been cast and people have ran. So just so I understand in my head today, then I could basically run for the vacancy in a 3rd ward, living in a 2nd ward.
That's correct. And if the members of the 3rd ward wish to have you as their elected representative, they have the right to so vote.
Doesn't Port Huron take the highest vote getters of all of the people running for office?
I do not know.
Mayor's elected that way.
Yeah, they elect 16 people, just general election, and wherever they're from, they're from.
Right.
All right. Anybody else? Question? Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. I'm
All
sorry.
right, thank you. That's good. Well, to see city departments, Annette, do you have anything more there?
I do. I wanted to remind everybody of the primary election to be held Tuesday, August 2nd. Polls will be open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. To view a sample ballot or find out where you vote, please visit michigan.gov/vote. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll go to D, authorities, boards, commissions, committee chairs, or council reps. Anybody have anything? All right, then we will go to number 7, unfinished business. We have the Eversharp tool and corporate land interest on the agenda. Is there anything, comments or anything?
I understand it correct. The attorney instructed us that it has to come up this time, it has to be one of the majority voters to bring it up at this time.
Right.
If it were to be considered tonight, Councilmember Laporte, it would actually have to be one of the members who voted on the prevailing side, which I understand was a minority vote of 3.
So it would have to be either be Mitch or Butch then, right? Correct.
That's correct.
All right. That's not going to happen. All right, we'll move on to number 8, new business. Approved G2 Consulting Group proposal, Geotech Engineering Services, St. Clair Highway.
Okay, Your Honor, I have reviewed the proposal with our engineers, Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick, and agree with the recommendation to accept G2 as the contractor. You probably recall on our last meeting, it was on the agenda. Councilmember Kleeman questioned the fact that the depth that they were going to take the soil sample, and so I needed to clarify that with Mr. Pangori, who was here tonight. I've done that. The technique, my understanding was they're using a different piece of equipment.
I can explain that pretty quick. The original proposal that Councilman Kleeman was referring to was a McDowell proposal that was given to the city at the time there was movement in the wall. They were proposing to drill down to 140 feet to bedrock and set a piece of equipment so they could measure the movement that was occurring. At this point, over 2 years after the wall moved, there's no movement going on any further. So G2 will be just drilling down 50 feet. They thought that was sufficient to determine soil strength and to come up with a proposed design to correct the failure. So it's not really, wasn't comparing apples to apples.
So this is just the engineering estimate for the scope of the work, not any improvement, any road work?
No, that's correct. No, that would be to analyze the situation that exists there today, to come up with 1 or 2 different possible solutions and estimate the cost of those solutions.
And when can we expect that?
If it's approved tonight, I'm guessing that they would start within the first couple weeks, and it's probably no more than 2 months period.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve A as presented.
I'll support.
All right, the motion made. Board of questions?
I guess, Steve, just maybe a comment more than a question. I mean, since St. Clair Highway has done what it's done, you know, there's a lot of certainly non-supported engineering opinions from people that are from that part of town, like their entire lives, you know, saying that, you know, it's this, it's that, and, you know, let's say non-scientific type stuff. I mean, do you think this firm can consider some of those things that kind of, when you hear them, they make sense, you know, like there used to be a flowing stream that got buried years ago, and, you know, I don't know if any of that stuff holds any water, yuck, but, you know, is there something to some of that stuff when you're doing this sort of study? Is all of that taken into consideration? You know?
I think historical information is always good to have.
Yeah.
And if there is any of those stories, facts,
Right.
thoughts,
Bring
things
them
that
on,
were carried from generation to generation, I would be happy to give those to G2 and make sure that they, you know, that they at least review them and make them part of their analysis.
Cool. Any other questions? Let's go roll, please.
Cuppa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley?
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Would it be approved proposal for a local streets improvement project, Mr. Booth?
Okay, included in your packet is Road Professional Services recommendation to award a contract to James P. Contracting. The amount is $298,730.25. This project will repave parts of Troon and Vine Streets. The work done on Troon was, the bid price came in at $110,485 even. And then the Vine Street improvement was $188,245.25.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll support.
All right, motion's made, support, questions? Call the roll, please.
Papa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley?
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. C is the Parks and Rec Commission, 216 local millage. Trees?
Thank you. City Council approval is required for the distribution of the local St. Clair County Parks and Recreation millage. This is for the year 2016. I included in your packets a copy of the request form and the summary of the local distribution. The request form was completed using the recreation portion of our city audit. And the amount that we would receive from the county millage would be $23,490.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
In addition, I did have some public announcements to make on behalf of the St. Clair County Parks and Recreation Commission. The millage for Parks and Recreation is up for renewal. It is on the August 2nd ballot, so we want to remind everyone to vote. This is a renewal of the millage. It will not increase your property tax. And I included a fact sheet for council and the public if you would like to pick up. It's over there on the table. And also the St. Clair County Parks and Recreation Commission is updating their master plan. That's a 5-year plan that we submit, or the county submits to the DNR. The county is working on a digital community survey that will be available on their website, but they have scheduled some community input meetings. One is on Wednesday, August 24th at Goodles County Park at 6 p.m. And another meeting is scheduled Thursday, September 29th at the Algonac Lions Club at 6 p.m. So if you'd like to give input on what you think the county millage money should go for, we encourage you to attend those meetings. And also, I wanted to let you know that I was asked to serve on the St. Clair County Parks and Recreation Trails Committee, and we had our first meeting last week, and I'll keep you updated on anything with that.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Can I ask you a question, Teresa, while you're there? What's going on with the bike path on River Road that stops? Yankee, St. Clair Township put it in, and it just kind of stops. Do you know?
I don't know of any further development. I mean, they've developed along M29, but I haven't heard anything from St. Clair Township
Okay.
as far as any connection.
Anything new out by the Little League field?
Not that I can bring it up at the trails meeting. We are working on, there's a trail route that they're trying to establish from the west side of the state to the
Right.
east, and coming down Fred Moore Highway is
Right.
one of the possible connections. So at our last trail committee meeting, we were looking at that. There were 3 different routes that were suggested, and Fred Moore Highway was one of the routes, so we will be looking at that as a trail committee.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. All right, we'll go to D, special events permit, St. Clair Jazz Festival. Chief?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm in receipt for approval of special events from the St. Clair Downtown Development Authority to host an event that's called the St. Clair Jazz Festival. This will be on August the 20th from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. This event will be held at Palmer Park. Setup times will be on August the 18th and will end on August 22nd. All the necessary documents have been received and they're in compliance with the city ordinance. And Mr. Lockwood is here if there's any questions. Well, he was here.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support that.
Motion made, support. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? E, assignment of Jazz Festival vendor permit process to St. Clair Events. Is Annette taking that?
Yes, Your Honor. St. Clair Events, which is a local organization similar to our boards and commissions, is seeking authorization as a designated third-party agency to coordinate the vendor permits for the St. Clair Jazz Festival. This is exactly the same process we use for the 4th of July vendors. Tonight's recommendation is that the city assign the St. Clair Jazz Festival vendor permit process to St. Clair Events in compliance with applicable sections of the city code.
I'd
make a
move to
motion to
approve that
approve.
request.
Motion's made, support. Any questions?
That's pretty.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go to F. Chalk the walk
Thank you.
and whistles on the water. Chief?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm also in for request of approval for special events from the St. Clair Downtown Development Authority to host their annual event called Chalk the Walk and Whistles on the Water on Saturday, September 24th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. This also will be held in Palmer Park in the Riverview Plaza and on the downtown sidewalks. They also have all the necessary documents and have been received in compliance, and I recommend approval of this event.
So moved.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And G, special event, September 11th, Remembrance.
Yes, Your Honor. Another approval for a special event has come to me from the St. Clair Mackinac First Methodist Church to host an event called September 11th Remembrance on September 11th, 2016 at 9:45 to 11:45. This service will be held in Palmer Park on the stage from the county. They have all of the necessary documents, and I ask for approval for this event also.
So moved.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll go to number 9, claims and accounts, July 5, 8, 15, 2016.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
Motion's made to support. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's go to number 10, public questions and public comment. Anybody have anything out there for the good of the group?
Hi, Council. Your Honor, my name is Don S. I've been a police officer for the city for the last 8.5 years. If I haven't met any of you, which I'm sure a lot of you have already met. But as you council members know, the St. Clair Police Department and the city have been in discussions for the past several weeks over the idea of having part-time officers employed by the police department. During these discussions, we've openly communicated our positions and beliefs on the idea of part-time officers. The members of the St. Clair Police Department, including the Chief of Police, don't believe that employing part-time officers is a viable solution for several reasons, which I will expand on below. I respect that as council members, you have to make tough decisions about the financial state of the city. Within those decisions, you have responsibility to the citizens of St. Clair. Even though I don't make the financial decisions, I also believe that I have a responsibility to the citizens of St. Clair. However, mine is protect and serve. We believe that part-time officers compromise the safety of the residents and visitors to the city. Citizens that I've spoken to feel very strongly about maintaining a full-time police force. One of the reasons we don't believe that part-time officers would benefit the community would be the lack of qualified pool of candidates. Officers coming out of the academy would require a minimum of 3 to 6 months of field training, depending on how many hours they work. Once the training is complete, these officers would be able to be on their own. However, the catch is that these officers are constantly looking for full-time positions elsewhere. No one makes a career out of being a part-time officer. Our city would be a revolving door for young qualified candidates, and the city of St. Clair would spend the salary of one full-time officer to train several, just to have those officers leave. We believe that training officers just for them to leave is cost efficient. However, the full-time departments who hire them would appreciate the free training and experience. Secondly, retired part-time officers lack the energy and enthusiasm as young officers. Retired officers, no offense to them, have completed their career. They are more or less looking to fill in the gaps of their retirement and are not as committed to the community as a full-time officer. Lastly, the cities that employ part-time officers have discovered that retired police officers officers do not work nights, weekends, and are very unreliable for fill-in shifts on a regular basis. As I previously stated, I know I'm not responsible for the budget. However, in some cases, cutting costs and services is not always the answer. With so many positive attributes about St. Clair, whether it be new tourists, a new business, or renovations to old ones, we believe that taking a step back is not the answer. Our even part-time officer would be taking that step back. As a city police officer, I believe that modeling our police department after a professional, full-time police department is the key to establishing a city's commitment and safety and security of the residents, and along with maintaining the city's great reputation. I believe that the residents of St. Clair deserve a professional, well-trained officers who are vested into the community. Officers who have long-term vested interests into the community will establish better communication between residents and officers. We also encourage the city to look at reestablishing the cadet program, which has been very successful throughout its time. The cadet program provided a low-cost police service that included assisting with skateboard violations, parades, park bike patrols, and many other community functions. I know that many of the downtown businesses missed the program. The city's St. Clair Police Department is not just a job or a stepping stone for me, but it's my career choice. I believe that I speak for the men and women police officers standing behind me tonight. We took an oath to protect and serve the residents of this town. I don't believe that any officer here tonight would hesitate to put themselves in harm's way to protect the safety and security of this community. I plead that you do your due diligence and not only look at the bottom line, but look at your community and understand that the decisions that you make in one way or another help or hurt your community. Just as another quick note, I want to thank the community for the continuous support in the recent tragedies across America relating to officers that make the ultimate sacrifice for their communities. Whether it be a handshake, pizza, a treat, or a thank you letter, or a simple wave, your acts of kindness and generosity do not go unnoticed. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming tonight, you guys and girls, ladies.
And thanks for what you guys do. We do appreciate it.
Very much so. Okay, any other public comment? Okay, then we will go to number 11. I do have a few things that I need to acknowledge. I'll start with our River Classic Car Show. It was held on July 9th, and big thank yous go out to Bill McDonald Ford, the St. Clair Cruisers, including Vern and Linda Cumming. $500 was donated to the St. Clair Rec Department and Historical Museum from the car show. The City DPW for setup and cleanup. And the St. Clair Greenhouse, Wendy Greer, her donation of services, plants, and flowers for the City Hall, potted plants, and city sign landscaping. I also, in receipt of a letter from Harant Harachin, thanking Chief Jefferson, Bob B., the staff of the DPW, for the tireless and momentous efforts from the St. Clair Art Fair Committee. He's the chairman of the Performing Arts. I also will throw out that, don't forget, August 5th is the Beer and Wine Festival. August 6th is the Mardi Gras. August 20th is the Jazz Festival, and August 27th is the Lighted Boat Parade. And the boat races are
2 weeks.
2 weeks, a week from this coming weekend. Everybody put on their patience for that weekend. We always know there's always a lot going on, so we always have to be patient, good, put our best foot forward. Does anybody else have any announcements or anything? Okay, I'm going to go to number 12 then and go to a closed session. Request for closed session to discuss strategy connected with the negotiating of a collective bargaining agreement with the employees represented by the Police Officers Labor Council, POLC.
I would make that motion, Your Honor.
Support.
Motion made, supported. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Laporte,
Yes.
McCartney,
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Kinsfater,
Yes.
Puppa,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
Thank you. You are welcome to stay. We may take action when we come back out. If you decide to stay, just relax, sit back. If not, thank you for coming. Be careful going home. Thanks for your efforts.